Let's get closer, yeah. I finally did it. I mulleted my bike. Will I be changing my bike permanently to a mullet? In this video, you're gonna find out what I experienced while riding the mullet.
Intro.
Yo, what's happening, my brews and brewettes? Welcome to my channel. Thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. You guys are amazing. If you aren't a Patreon subscriber yet, consider subscribing on there and joining the inner circle. There is a link in the video description below. There you'll get bonus videos, longer videos, earlier videos, and yeah, it will cost you a couple of bucks per month. You'll be helping the channel out if you do join on there, because that helps fund this channel. Also hit that YouTube subscribe button and also hit that notification bell, and you will be notified every time I drop a video. Oh yeah, and punch that like button if you like this video. A mullet is business up front and
Party at the back.
29-inch wheel up front and a 27.5-inch wheel at the back. I think a very important part of your conversion is going to be the offset of the fork. Therefore, I wanted to try a very short offset on the fork. The offset is the distance between the fork stanchions and the steerer tubes. The shorter the offset, the closer the fork is towards the steerer tube. So I didn't want to rake my bike out too much because it wasn't really designed for that, and that's why I chose the shorter offset on the fork. My front end was a RockShox Lyric with a 42mm offset, and the fork was set at 160mm of travel. The wheel I was using up front was the Ibid 942, nice wide rim, and the tire that was mounted to the wheel was a Maxxis Minion DHF WT, which is the wide trail, and that was 2.5 wide, and it was obviously a 29er. Let's talk about the climbing. The minute I got on the bike, I felt that the whole front end was raised up. So it was nice and high. It felt like the stack was raised right to the top, which is a double-edged sword, but we'll touch on that later on. So I did feel wandering on the front end, which means that the front end is just wandering around a bit. Like when you're busy pedaling, the front end is quite light because the whole bike is raised up on the front. Tight switchbacks on the climbs was also a little bit different, where you just have to enter the corners a little bit differently because the front end did feel a little bit bigger and a little bit more sluggish compared to the smaller wheel.
Okay, so there's not too much wandering on the front end. I was expecting a lot worse.
It only takes a few corners to get used to it. While powering down on the steeper climbs, I did feel that the front end was lifting up, but that's easily remedied by dropping those elbows, getting nice and low, and just tucking in and just grinding up those heels. It's nice in some situations when the front end is raised up like that, because it does feel lighter. While there were obstacles on the trails like steps or rocks or logs, it was easier to get the front end up and over those than what it is with the lower front end. Where the mullet really got wild and it got rad is on the descents, and especially the steep stuff. I thought it was spectacular because it's raised up in front. Look, you can raise the stack height up and put your position back, but it just felt like this mullet had so much more traction up front. In saying that, it was still fun because there was still
Party
at the back. Feels really supportive. I felt like this 29-inch wheel and this Lyric had more support up front, and it just put my body position far back. I was so impressed with this mullet on the descents. It was superb. On the rough stuff, that big wheel up front feels like it rolls over the stuff easier, but you still got the playful back, which is kind of weird because the back like skips around and it jumps around and it gets around those corners, which was rad. Unlike a lot of the 29-inch long travel bikes that I've ridden, the trails here in Cape Town are really dusty at the moment and dry. I rode down hiking trails with baby heads and it just devoured. Definitely felt more stable in the rough stuff. On the baby heads and the loose rocks and stuff, It felt like that front end was just floating, and it still has that sense of playfulness, which I find the 29ers that I have ridden in the past lacked. Also with the mullet, your bike is going to be raised up front, which may raise your BB as well. Now I enjoyed the higher BB. Yeah, so I've got 175 more cranks and I enjoyed the higher BB because it just felt like I wasn't going to smash my pedals into rocks as often as what I do. I didn't feel that the higher bottom bracket had a negative effect on the bike. I still had traction in spades. So that was my experience with the mullet. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm trying to keep this video nice and short and nice and sweet, straight to the point. Will I be changing my bike permanently to a mullet? Well, let me just tell you that my 27.5-inch fork is up for sale. Punch that like button if you like the video, subscribe if you like my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for walking up with me today. I will catch you on the next episode.